running very fast, too.
I think we've seen more drivers use that low line here this evening than we've seen in the past.
Look at this. Look at Stryker running down the bottom, throwing those sparks. He's sliding right up in front of Ciccone. So, oh, we got a car.
Well, 2 cars up in the wall, and a car rolls over.
Oh,
he is
man,
T-boned. We'll have a red flag. Mike Mason is going over.
Looks like...
We also see Roy Carruthers in number 5 and Don Schilling in number 21. Schilling was T-boned by Mike Mason, which is the car. You can see the belly pan, and Mason went for a wild ride in number 7.
Boy, oh boy, all I saw out of the corner up at the top of the screen was 2 cars into the fence. Then all of a sudden, when they came off the fence and got down in front of everybody else, everything went crazy. Everybody started running into everybody.
We saw Mike Mason upside down before on Saturday Night Thunder, and again, we talk about the integrity of a race car, the integrity of the roll cage. He is on his side, but Don Schilling in number 21, that is a car that he built himself. Mason is in the Beast chassis, and Mason actually T-boned Schilling and went into a violent set of barrel rolls. Let's look at it again. Now, you look at the front of the pack. All right, a car is already in the wall. 2 cars are into the wall.
Oh, it looks like Schilling got upside down.
Schilling actually got upside down. Now, where is Mason? There is Mason right there. Now, watch Mason as he goes side for side about 5 times.
He had nowhere to go. Mason, he was just, everything happened so fast at this racetrack, there's no reaction time. Once Schilling came down off the racetrack in front of him, there was nothing he could do. Bam, he hit him, and they both went for a ride.
There was another car up in the wall, though. Mike Mason, the farmer from the neighboring state of Ohio. You can see the damage to the front. And there was another car involved. I cannot tell you at this point who the other car was. Number 22, apparently Doug Kalita. Doug Kalita, who is Schilling's teammate, also was involved. They're working with Mike Mason. He is out of the car right now. They're talking to Mike.
Yeah, he seems to be okay. He looks like he's kind of crawling out of the car.
Schilling, if I could interrupt you here, Schilling, Doug Kalita's car slid to a stop along the outside wall at the head of the main straightaway. So there is the lower part of your screen. You can see Kalita's car. Now, from the in-car camera, as we ride along with Stevie Reeves, look at the commotion up in front. You'll see 2 dark cars head for the fence.
Look at this. One car comes right across, hits those bumps, comes up, bang, hits the right rear, the left rear of the other car. They're both in the fence. Everybody's trying to miss them.
Those are the teammates together again.
Those are the 2 teammates. They ran into each other. Look at Stevie Reeves. He stays at the bottom, hoping they're out of the way. That's what everybody tried to do. He's clear down in the grass here, trying to get away from him. He was as far away from the top of the racetrack as he could get. Unfortunately, as they roll over up there, Mike Mason comes around. He doesn't get low enough to get out of the way. Look at him. He's heading for the bottom, but he just wasn't low enough. Bingo.
Well, yeah, he was headed for the bottom, but unfortunately, Schilling got there before Mason got to that spot. Some excellent cage cam cameras from the CarQuest cage cam. But once again, we are under red here at the Winchester Speedway for a violent accident. And there is Mike Mason. Mike obviously wants to collect his thoughts, but everything appears to be okay. And he's right now getting the cobwebs out of the head and trying to recap exactly what happened. But once again, it's great to see him walking around. He is okay. We'll come back for more of action from Winchester. Obviously, you have been introduced to some wild racing this season on Saturday Night Thunder. Dave Despain, your thoughts on this accident?
Well, we're going to get an eyewitness account. Don Schilling is being helped from the car right now. Doug Kalita is obviously very concerned about his teammate, and we're going to try to get a quick word with Doug and see if he can tell us what might have happened. Doug, you were involved in the mishap with your teammate. I know your thoughts are with Don. Can you give us an idea what happened?
Yeah, I was running out front, of the guys that were running behind me that ended up getting tangled up with. And I got bashed into the left rear, and then I just skidded along the wall. So
you're okay, but obviously
a good idea, a good view of what, thank God, far enough ahead of what was going on. But they're getting Don out, and I think he'll probably be okay. He's certainly sore right now.
I know your concern is with Don. We'll let you go ahead and look into that. Don Schilling is a teammate and actually the shop manager for Kalita's operation, and he is apparently the most seriously injured. Mike Mason has climbed out of the car, and we're going to try to get a word with him in a moment. Let's go back topside.
Larry, we saw Don Schilling roll over, and then we saw the T-bone, and that's where the injury could occur. These cars have great integrity. We've seen the Beast chassis a number of times crash tested. The drivers have walked away.
exactly right. The guy who gets hit usually is in the most danger, because if something happens to get inside that cage, a bumper or a tire or something, he's the guy that's going to get hurt when he's banged like that, because he's sitting still. The other guy's still going at motion. It's just like two guys that hit head-on. If one guy's only going 30 and another guy's going 80, it's usually the guy that's going the slowest that gets hurt the worst, not the guy that's going the fastest. But Mike Mason's car, as you said, that's a second or third time. He's had terrible luck. It's second or third time we've seen it, and it's come out in very good shape every time.
Okay, there's a damage in the side of the cockpit of car number 21, Don Schilling, when he was drilled by Mike Mason. Well, once again, the red continues. We'll try to get an update on the conditions of the drivers and come back to Winchester.
We're back live at Winchester, Indiana. A massive turn 4 crash has put us under a red flag condition, and we can update the two drivers involved. Mike Mason has a little cut inside his lip, but a smile on his face, and he says, I'm okay, just give me a couple of minutes to get my wits together. I always seem to be in the wrong place at the right time. He took a major shot. Don Schilling has significant pain in his left hip, and you'll be able to see here in the replay how that occurred. The T-bone crash right into the left side of his automobile has left him with an apparent hip injury, and that's what they're concerned about, and he's going to be taken in for x-rays to determine the extent of that injury. They're very concerned about getting him out of that car and being very careful with him in doing that extrication, but he is conscious and alert, and he was talking to the medical personnel and actually helping them in getting out of that. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the sprint race highlights here while we wait for the restart, and then we'll be back with an update on the drivers involved. Preliminary report is everybody's going to be okay. I wish it was under different circumstances, but I'm glad you're smiling. Tell me what happened.
Dave, we come around that turn and we was racing there, and I seen some cars in trouble up there, and one started rolling along a wall, and all I could do was try to go low, and he come down there and I T-boned him. I hate it. He's a good friend of mine, but that's the way it happens, I guess.
That's a tough moment when you see that car sideways in front of you. Know you got nowhere to go.
Oh, it's terrible.
You got a bad run of luck going. We got to stop meeting like this. You had one at IRP a couple of weeks ago. What's going on here?
I realize this. I realize this.
We'd change it in a minute if we could. I'm glad you're okay.
Thank you very much, Dave.
That is Mike Mason. He's okay. We'll have an update on Don Schilling. Right now, we're going to go ahead and check out some more of the heat race highlights as we continue to wait for the restart here at Winchester.